What's your favorite holiday or Halloween memory?
That is a question I'm going to ask.
Oh,
That's on the list of questions.
okay, okay,
So I'm not going to answer that right now, but
okay.
I am excited because we are going to actually have a Halloween themed show.
Whoa,
You,
prep. That signs of prep.
I mean, I did listen to our other show 10 minutes before you got here because I wanted to remember the nicknames that we had at the end. And then I heard myself go, hey, maybe next week we'll do a Halloween themed podcast. And so, yeah, we're prepped.
There you go, prepped. That's our prep.
We're so good at this.
We are.
Hey guys! Wow, that was really weird. Hey guys, thanks for listening to Unbroken Ground again. This is another episode with Jim. Jim, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm here.
Apparently you're wired.
I
Basically
am so wired.
full of coffee and
I have so much caffeine pulsing through my. I think I'm more caffeine than blood right now. Actually.
that's amazing. Can you taste colors and see see sounds?
Yeah, it's the smell is off. My teeth are buzzing. All the signs that you drank way too much coffee.
All right.
My eyes are probably jumping around.
Well, as you might have gathered from our intro, we did say last time we might do a Halloween themed podcast, and then subsequently forgot. At least I
What?
did for until I was
forgot?
until I was trying to search back and
I've been racking my brain, man. I've been thinking about Halloween ever since.
all I do is think about Halloween.
That's all I do. There's nothing else in my life to think about.
Well.
No wedding coming up. No daughter going to college or military or anything like that. My son, who I haven't seen in a couple months, coming home. Yeah, I haven't thought about any of those things.
Just Halloween.
Just Halloween. And
Okay.
what should we talk about, Paul?
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm gonna ask you this question, and I already know that you're gonna know the answer right off because you've been thinking about
zero
this.
thought.
This is all you've been thinking about is just this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. What mythological creature would you most like to see be real?
How is that a Halloween question?
I don't know.
How is that relating to Halloween?
Like monsters and
okay.
ghosts and
sure.
like things that don't really exist, but maybe they do.
Okay.
I mean, if you so we have to. I do think we have to preface this with a quick by the by
Qualifications here.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
borders. Fences.
back in the early years of our friendship, one of the things we did love to talk about was on Netflix.
I'm remembering.
The cryptozoologist
Oh man,
show,
that guy was a monster.
and there was a Bigfoot episode where this scientist never blinked.
Never, not once. He had a 3-minute interview, uncut,
Stared into the camera,
zero blinking.
deadpan. There's no DNA evidence on that, and so what was that? Monsters? What was that called? Monster Investigation?
Monster Quest.
Monster Quest.
Monster Quest.
That. But that the Bigfoot episode with that guy never blinking, never showing any threat of not even a shred of emotion.
Yeah.
Just being like, I can't believe I have to do this, and there's no DNA here.
He could have been Bigfoot himself. He was just.
Bigfoot had his family. Bigfoot had his family and was like, look, either you say there's nothing there or I'm going to take him out.
You're
and
part of the conspiracy now. Bigfoot was standing behind the camera.
I know where you live.
Don't even blink, man.
Yeah.
If you blink, I will rip you to shreds.
Okay, so that being said, so this is something we've talked a lot about mythological creatures.
That's true.
So I have a
Mothman was one of my favorite. Mothman was fun. That is definitely a vulture on the whole Thunderbird or Thunder whatever.
I was gonna say the Thunderbird is our local monster.
Mm-hmm. It's true. He's the most local monster.
Yeah. Although we have some Bigfoot.
There are some Bigfoot sightings around us. That's true. That's true. So I just listened to answer the question.
Okay.
I just listened to Audible's free version of Frankenstein from 1818 is when it was written.
By Mary Shelley.
By Mary Shelley, yep. So I think, and I really liked it.
Okay.
I really did like it.
Okay.
And one of the things I didn't actually know about Frankenstein, being a modern person and only going through movies and all of just having regular Frankenstein lore, is that Frankenstein ends up at the North Pole.
He does.
Like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
So, this whole Christmas, I've been telling a few people this, all this holiday season, every time I see Santa Claus, my brain is going to have Frankenstein behind him as like chief elf. Because,
Santa Claus is Frankenstein's monster.
No. That's not where my brain goes to. Santa Claus is such a whole and pure person.
Like so, Frankenstein shows up and he's like, I can use you.
Yeah, and he goes, full of grace and compassion.
He just loves him.
I understand
his love
that you're
for
hideous
Frankenstein
and scary.
Just makes him.
But hang out here and help me with these stupid elves that don't do anything. And so,
okay,
I think
that's your
new monster is.
That's the new Christmas story you want to tell.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, so that's a pretty good one. Mm-hmm. I think Frankenstein's monster, because, yeah, I mean, if you get all the way through the end,
yeah, he ends up
both Dr. Frankenstein and his monster, who we call Frankenstein because he never gets named.
He's just a monster. Yeah.
So all of you purists that are, it's Frankenstein's monster.
Right.
Just chill, okay?
Right.
Nerdy.
Right.
All right.
He's clearly become Frankenstein, but either way, yes.
He's the creation of Frankenstein. He can inherit the last name. It's fine.
Yeah.
She lives. She lives.
Does the recording work now?
We're talking about our favorite mythological creatures, which is Frankenstein, and you've appeared. So.
Wait, I've appeared because I'm Frankenstein?
Well, no, like
you.
That's what we were talking about. I mean,
so
when you appeared,
you
Jim,
would qualify as the bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, probably.
Was she cool?
Oh, they're all cool.
I mean, that's just
like they're cool like Mary Poppins.
That's an extra. That's beyond canonical of Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah. So when you appeared, he did the "It's Alive,"
yes.
like it was Frankenstein's monster. Yeah. But we're not. He was not calling you Frankenstein's monster. I don't think. I don't. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. I'm alive.
It's just my Jim's way of insulting Callie somehow and getting her angry at Jim without knowing it. Just not intentional. Just like
we'll have a conversation about this later.
How do I have a 3-minute?
Well,
I am not mad at you.
We'll have a conversation about this later, Jim. Don't worry.
It
will be discussed.
Just today, my daughter, I was having lunch with my daughter, and she brought up like the whole last episode that we were talking about Fruit of the Spirit and cake came out?
Yeah.
Remember that? We were talking about fruits of the Spirit, and then Callie said, "Here, have some cake.
Here's some lemon cake."
And I was like, "What?"
Right.
And so my daughter was like, I was on Callie's side, and I was like,
That's not a surprise.
I didn't realize there were sides.
Not a surprise.
It was just a weird.
Were you having lunch with your oldest daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw her office for the first time.
Oh.
Got to hang out in super protected.
Yeah, she did tell me that she was on my side and that she
this is not
would talk to you about it.
Yeah.
None of this is shocking that she would choose your side versus Jim's.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what sides there are.
Yeah,
it doesn't
fun
matter.
because Paul and I have zero idea that there were sides. We're just talking over here, and then all of a sudden,
your oldest daughter, who's also one of our top fans. We do have to acknowledge that of people that listen to the podcast, she is
one of the most consistent listeners.
She is one who listens. So shout out to number one fan.
There you go.
And Jeremy. Jeremy is also a top fan. He listens like in really small bits though, and so
okay.
it takes a while to get through our episodes.
we're the conversation in the background in the car. With him. All right. All right. I dig it.
But he only lives like 10 minutes or shorter than that from the school, so he listens on.
Oh,
he
wow.
goes back and forth.
10-minute clips of us talking. Okay.
Which I can't even pay attention. I don't even know where, like, if you were to think back 10 minutes ago, like, what were we even talking about? I don't know.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
You're making fun of Callie. Oh.
Not 10 minutes ago. That was more 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
We weren't ever making fun of you.
Yeah, we weren't.
We were segueing from Frankenstein's monster, who, by the way, is actually an elf at the North Pole.
That's true. He's chief elf.
He is the chief elf. And we were segueing into you being alive, and Jim decided to do the
go.
whole "it's alive" thing.
Yeah.
So not making fun.
Okay. I'm just gonna go back and eat my pretzel.
Okay.
This is not
That's
a pretzel.
not a pretzel. That's a weird looking frozen pretzel.
This is a popsicle.
She's
Still a little bit under anesthesia.
she's had some work done today, so some testing. So
I came out of anesthesia, and apparently I was talking about giving my kids a test, and I was mad because one of my students.
the first so.
Whoa.
So this is the first time.
Fun recollection.
Yeah, this is the first time I've
things.
got to see Callie kind of as she's actually coming out of anesthesiology.
Like from the get-go.
Because usually, so this was a test, and so I got to stay in the room. Versus like in surgery, you have like a temporary room, and they're like, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And then when they get to post-op
You're
2,
unclean. Get out of here.
they're like, they'll call you. And by that time, Callie's kind of come around, but this time they just wheeled her back in, and the doctor came and spoke to us, and we had all these conversations.
No recollection about that.
And then every 5 minutes, Callie kept going, so I gave a math test, and I was like, yeah, we've heard about the math test, and she's like, yeah, but but I gave a math test. I was like, I don't think you did. You were going to sleep.
And I was mad because one of my students failed it.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. I was like, and so then we're leaving, and the nurse was like, yeah, so the doctor came and talked to you, and Kylie's like, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
I was like, yeah, he stood right there, and he said the things, and then he left, and she was like, nah,
That didn't happen.
nah. So,
All right. Well, go ahead and keep eating your pretzel.
That's a very cold pretzel.
frozen pretzels.
Frozen cold red pretzel on a stick.
Very cold.
So, all right, Frankenstein's monster. I like it.
I mean, that's that's where my brain is, so that's where I'll go. How about you? Mythical
mythological creatures.
That's alive. That's real.
That's real. Man.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Ooh.
He's a nice dragon.
Yeah, he is a nice dragon. I think... See, I had the question for you, and I didn't take time to consider what mythological creature. I think that I'm actually a really big Bigfoot fan. I don't actually believe that there are Bigfoots out there, but I do believe that there are things we've never found that do exist out there. But like the gentleman from the Monster Quest, I do say there's no DNA evidence on that board. But I do think I do like the idea. Also because it just reminds me of one of my favorite comedians. Because anytime I can bring up Mitch Hedberg, I'm going to. But he's like, maybe Bigfoot really is just blurry. Like, that's why I know I can get a good picture of him, because he's just naturally blurry, like all the time.
All right. Our Boundary Waters trip, we took a picture of a guy who had wandered away from us, and it was kind of it was a very Bigfoot-esque type of picture, because you were like, well, that could be a person, or that could be Bigfoot. Like, who knows what that is right there. So yeah, we I think we have a picture of Bigfoot.
Well, I mean, obviously...
One of the guys, his mom is a big Bigfoot supporter, and
Okay.
so he sent that picture. And actually, he made it way more grainy, so it actually fits into, like, he blew it up, he screenshot it. And
right. Then, grainified it, and so it was very blurry.
Zoomed in, so it's super blurry, yeah. So, it was pretty good.
I mean, together, you and I put together a Bigfoot escape room, so obviously...
That's true.
That was fun.
We do have a Bigfoot suit out at camp.
You freaking out your dog by putting on the Bigfoot suit was also...
She was definitely not happy about that one.
No.
I didn't get bit though, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, she was much more afraid of it than you were of her.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So I think having a Bigfoot be real would be fun.
So all you hunters out there, keep your trail cameras on.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest hurdle. It's one of the biggest hurdles.
The second, like 1A and 1B for me. So Bigfoot,
Okay.
the 1B would definitely be the Chupacabra.
Okay.
Because the idea of some kind of creature that is like a vampire for goats.
Just for goats.
Yeah. It just
mm-hmm.
And it's fun to say.
Chupacabra is fun to say.
The Chupacabra.
Yeah. Couldn't possibly be a mangy coyote.
No, it cannot. Let's see. What? So, do you have any favorite Halloween memories? Because you were going to ask me that question.
Oh, yeah. Yes, and that's how we
started this.
Okay.
But that is one of the top questions that I think Google told me to ask.
Halloween memories.
Let's start. Let me go start here, because I feel like this is a controversial question.
Okay.
Did you guys celebrate Halloween as a Christian family, as you were growing up? Did you guys celebrate Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents didn't care.
Yeah.
About whatever. And so, let's see. So, most significant holiday memory is definitely that's when I asked Jesus into my heart.
Okay.
As a 5-year-old kid, we had a Halloween party, and I told my mother, I would like Jesus to come to my Halloween party, and she brought me into the living room, and we had a
Oh,
conversation, and she said, well, I have Jesus in my heart, and she explained
okay.
Just that whole traditional invite Jesus into your heart kind of thing. And so that's probably the most significant.
Yeah.
Man. We could go down the theology road of and that's very boring and whatever. And did that actually happen, et cetera, et cetera. But so that's the most significant.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see, so the other major Halloween memory is just a general, I was the kid that had all of their Halloween candy gone and eaten in 2 days. No problem. I just, maybe not 2 days, but it was not saved at all. I'm not a saver. I have zero self-control on anything that I like. So, so I would just annihilate my Halloween candy.
For sure.
My brother is the opposite, so he would eat his last piece of candy on Halloween from the previous year. So he was able to discipline himself to have...
Oh my gosh.
Whatever. And so...
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
if not borderline psychotic.
That's us. So that's where we overlap. So psychoticness. So,
the borderline.
Yeah, just, I mean, not quite there. Just, we both have strange things. So, so that's another, I mean, the whole dumping out and trading candies, that's a significant memory. I don't know if I remember a specific Halloween costume. I don't know if I ever had one that was like, this is the one I remember.
Yeah.
Our church, a couple times, I think, growing up, our church would do a Halloween thing, like a fair. And so,
fall festival.
Yeah,
not a Halloween. That's
I don't remember what they called it. It was. I do believe I went to a church. Maybe this was in college. Now I'm having memories, but I think I went. No, it was before college. There was a church that we went to that did a haunted house in their church.
Okay.
Like, so that was like a full. I was in our church. I remember visiting a church. That was a kid. I mean, that was a kid thing.
I'm not a haunted house person. I don't know that I may have been to one.
I don't believe it was a great haunted house because it was a church.
I mean,
so they had to keep it like way. I mean, whatever, and then let's see. That thrusts another memory into my head because that's how memories go. Is they, just kind of blend all together.
Yeah.
My cousins, I remember, because I had a lot of cousins, and all holidays we'd get together and just terrorize the whole neighborhood. We put together a really goofy, just family haunted house, like upstairs, and so it was pretty fun. I remember being just old enough that we had a room that you'd go in, and one of the guys was like, or one of the scary persons in that room was like, "Welcome to HE double hockey sticks." And I was like, "Why don't we just say hell?" And my other cousins were like, "No, it's way more funny to say HE doubles hockey sticks." And I was like,
because we don't want to go there. If we say that we're going, okay.
I mean, there was that tension there. You could tell I was just old enough to feel that tension, but also recognize. Yeah, it's kind of funnier when you say HE double. Welcome to HE double hockey sticks.
Like that actually is true. One day, I think someone gets there and Satan's like, "Welcome to HE double hockey sticks." Yeah. You can't even say it, Satan. Look, man, I don't make the rules.
No, we can't. It's a bad word. But that's where we are. No.
Don't.
So
yeah, okay.
So there's a bunch of. I mean, there's a whole conglomerate of holiday memories.
This will probably not surprise you. Two things that won't surprise you.
Okay.
I don't like paying for things that I don't think I'll enjoy. So, like going and scaring myself, whether that be off of a ropes course or at a haunted house, like I'm like, that doesn't sound entertaining to me. Like I don't want to be scared. I don't like.
Okay.
Then and two, my most vivid Halloween recollection is there was I don't even know who it was. Like if it was a church or like just a community group or something, but they had a little Halloween kind of party. Maybe it was just friends. I don't know. I was probably 6 or 7, and they were making. And it was cold. Now, when I say cold, this is Texas standard.
Texas cold.
So,
yeah.
But it was the only cold that I knew. So I did have a jacket on, I'm sure, because I thought it was cold. But they were making hot chocolate like in a cauldron. And it literally was the best hot chocolate I've ever had.
Oh,
I've
nice.
never had that hot chocolate again. And so it's this core memory of going there and being like, and I don't even know what they did. Like, I mean, I was like 7. I wasn't like, hey, pardon me.
Yeah.
This is delicious. Could you
Yeah.
share with me the
milk and marshmallows, man? The milk
Could you
and marshmallows.
share
That's how they did
the
that.
recipe that, because I'd had like Swiss Miss hot chocolate, you know, that you pour out a little packet,
Right.
and I'm sure it was not. I mean, if it was that, it was something added to it. I mean, I'm sure I have had some upscale hot chocolates since then, but nothing tops like that first, like
well, that's
like
your
being
core memory.
like being cold and so that's probably we lived kind of outside of town, so we didn't really do the especially as we got a little bit older, we just didn't do the whole trick-or-treating thing and walk a neighborhood. I mean, when we were younger, we did. I mean, I do miss certain candies, candy cigarettes, which, you know, which was a great idea.
Remember those? Yeah.
So, like, you could pretend to be a 5-year-old smoking your cigarettes.
That's true.
Your baby.
I never really liked them, though.
They weren't good. No, I mean, they were just chalky.
Yeah.
Chalky.
Yeah.
But their appeal was they were cigarettes.
Right.
Which, why are you teaching? Which cigars, like gum, cigars that were gum, like, you know, like that was just things that we didn't understand. But it was like, here's some candy to make you have adult addictions and problems with your later life.
These are normal things. Well, growing up in the 80s, that's how that goes.
Yeah. So we didn't really do a whole ton, I think because of that, I have never developed a love for some of the what I consider lesser candies. This is not an exhaustive list. I'm sure you'll disagree with my list, but I have a distaste. I mean, if in a Candy Crunch, and I'm like, you know what, this is the only thing for miles, or you know, but Milky Way, Babe Ruth, Twix, Three Musketeers.
Okay.
None of those are good.
Okay.
None of those, like...
That's fun, because those are probably
those
towards the top of my childhood. I mean, now I think I'd agree with... Well...
I take it back. Baby Ruth was actually good. I was thinking of Three Musketeers, and I said Baby Ruth. I actually like Baby Ruth because I like the peanut. Like, I just don't like the nuggets. Just the Three Musketeers and that were just kind of nuggets, and then like Twix was just a nugget with a little bit of cookie.
Yeah. See, well, that was so trading with my brother. Milky Way and Snickers would be what we'd trade, and I would take all the Milky Ways, and he would take all the Snickers. Butterfingers, he'd just lose. Because I'm bigger, so
he didn't get it. That wasn't a choice.
That was just.
He was like,
it's
trading.
A given. I'm getting all of your Butterfingers. Which, by the way, I don't. There's one of those things that I don't know if they changed or if I changed enough.
You've changed,
but like
they've probably changed too.
Yeah, they're not as good as what I remember. You know, like they're just not what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Milky Way and Three Musketeers. I actually did like the nougat part of that.
I was never, and still to this day, like I'll eat a Reese's peanut butter cup, but it was definitely not at the top of mine.
Yeah, Reese's cups they're okay. Yeah. I don't care about them.
They're Callie's favorite. So,
okay, yeah.
But she particularly likes the shapes, like the jack-o'-lanterns, the footballs, because they have a better chocolate to peanut butter ratio.
I see.
Supposedly.
I gotcha.
So,
okay.
I definitely have always leaned more into like Starburst and Skittles, like Smarties. Those were kind of my jam as far as candy goes. So chocolate was just like, I mean, Crunch Bars, Kit Kats. Oh, I did have the other day speaking of things changing, I had a cinnamon toast Kit Kat.
Oh.
And it did taste a little bit like eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch in a candy bar.
Okay.
So I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Okay.
It was orange.
That's... What?
It was orange.
What do you mean it was orange?
I mean...
Like it had orange flavor?
No.
Oh, the packaging was orange? The chocolate was orange? They turned the chocolate into orange?
There you go.
Oh, that's weird.
Let's see. I think I took a picture of it.
Okay. Okay.
This is great. This is great podcasting because
you guys can't see this picture, but
interesting.
It's like a light orange.
That is definitely an orange.
Ghost toast is what they called it. But
Okay.
it's cinnamon. It tastes
Was it white chocolate or is it actually milk chocolate?
It didn't have a chocolateness to it.
Oh, okay.
So it
it's
was
wax. I mean, it's whatever.
with a cinnamon,
Yeah.
with a wafer and cinnamon aftertaste.
Okay.
But it was good. I'm game. I'll try.
I'm with you on the whole minimal chocolate. I'm not really. I mean, I say those were my top candy bars, but yeah, I think I was always with you with her. I'm with you with the whole fruity candies are better candies.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
anything with chocolate, like I like a good nut roll. There again, nougat and peanut butter or peanuts.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I didn't mind a
Caramel on the
payday.
middle.
I don't mind a payday.
Paydays are good because they don't have chocolate either.
But the nougat on the payday is different to me. It wasn't the same. Like to me, the Milky Way and the Three Musketeers are the same candy bar, but Milky Way has caramel, and I'm not a huge caramel person anyway. Like it's okay, but I'm not like people who are like, oh, caramel macchiatos are the best or whatever. I just like I'd be like, it's all right. So
caramel is definitely above chocolate in my world. I'll put caramel on ice cream before I put chocolate on it.
Yeah.
But Skittles, top of the list.
Yeah, for sure. Skittles,
I
Starburst.
don't really like Starbursts are good. Their flavor is good.
Yeah.
I don't like individually wrapped candies because they're again probably over dissecting myself a little bit of it's that self-control thing.
Yeah.
I can pour a whole package of Skittles in my mouth.
Yes.
Starburst, you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta unwrap another one.
They do have unwraps. They do have unwrapped Starburst candies now. So, but you can't pass those out as Halloween candies.
Yeah, that would be
because that's a little gross.
And they'd all stick together. Like I don't. Of course, I wouldn't care about any of that. But.
Gummy stuff like gummy worms, gummy bears.
Yeah, gummy bears.
Those are
definitely top of the list for sure.
So,
do you have a favorite gummy that you walking down the aisle? You're like, oh, that one.
I like. There's our mutual friend Aaron and his friend Tyler. They both are big fans of Twin Snakes, the Haribo Twin Snakes that have like the two flavors.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't stand for those as much, but just the Trolleys Sour Brights definitely. I like the sour
going on the sour end.
Yeah, more than. But every now and then, it's just good to. I do really enjoy just a regular old gummy worm that's not sour. That's just that regular tasting. So, yeah. But I like the gummy worms more than I like any other shape for sure. So I think I eat more gummy worms than bears.
Okay.
And about the time we were in high school, I don't know if it hit where you hit, but where I was at, Jelly Belly came out with like flavored jelly beans. And that was kind of like this rage of like, this one tastes like popcorn. And you're like, yeah, it kind of does, but I kind of also would just,
See,
like popcorn.
yeah, Jelly Bellies are an interesting thing because you can get some really bad ones. You know, like you can't just grab a handful of Jelly Bellies and throw them in your mouth because you can get
a weird combination.
Even
if they're not necessarily like bad by themselves,
right?
But like together, like you get like coffee and strawberries and cream, and you're like, no, that's not how this should work.
Yeah, or you get a fruity chocolate thing, or you get some kind of random pina colada thing. Yeah, and you're like, what is going on in my mouth
and
right
licorice. Oh, I can't stand licorice.
Oh, black licorice is awesome. I don't know what you're
talking about, the worst. The worst. So bad.
But yeah, so Jelly Bellies are that weird one where if you get the bad handful, you got to go back for a second one.
And hope you...
and you're a little bit more cautious about what you're grabbing, the colors you're grabbing.
Yeah. I think licorice for me is kind of like the same reason that I can't do coffee very well is because it just is it's just an overwhelming bitter taste to me. So black licorice is just like medication. It is just like over the top medication.
Oh, sure.
So
I get you.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a follow up. Here's to go along with a mythological question is, do you believe in ghosts, or do you believe that you have ever had a paranormal experience?
Well, do I answer that seriously, or do we just keep playing?
Yes, both.
So that's a funny one because I just listened to a comedian that had a great set of jokes about it, and I'm gonna go with that. Okay. So I don't believe in ghosts because they're all white people. There's no. I'll actually add to that. No, not only are they all white people, but they all died before 1920.
Okay.
And so there's no like 1990s ghost walking around. You know, like there's no.
Like the 1920s ghosts are like turning off the lights maybe, but the 1990s ghosts is shutting off your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Like just like.
Yeah, they've graduated to. We don't need to even appear. We can just get into your.
We'll mess with their Wi-Fi. Watch this.
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, there you go. So
okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't remember the comedian's name because it was in my whole I was just shuffling through YouTube, and so I just landed on him. And so But if you YouTube. I don't know what it was, but
yeah,
I wouldn't even know how to search that. But
I don't believe in ghosts. Comedian YouTube.
Yeah,
Google will find it.
I'm sure will find it. You'll find. I mean, you'll be entertained for a while, probably. But he had some good points. He had some good points. I mean, he was being a comedian, but yeah. So, to take that in a more serious, I believe that our brains really love to connect things and make sense of things, and so even if it doesn't jive with maybe reality or whatever, and so I mean, walk through the woods at night and you'll be able to see monsters. I mean, you know, like, there's just things that you're like, oh, what was that? And your brain can either say, yeah, that was a monster, and yet it was just a shadow that moved, or a limb in the distance, or something, and then because you're not quite seeing right or clearly, and so your brain just kind of
so this is like super interesting things for me because I used to listen to a podcast called Stuff You Should Know.
Okay. Sure.
I listen to a lot of Stuff You Should Know.
I did.
Podcast.
I did go through a phase of that. Too,
And one of the things that one of the podcasts was about our memories and how our brains work, and like how and this is so hard because like I mean it makes me question so much, but how much our brains just fill in with details that aren't necessarily true, but they just, in order to make sense of everything, and to do it because it's that the whole like predator prey kind of thing, and have to do it so quickly that it'll just fill things in, and you'll remember things, and that's why one of the worst types of evidence is actually eyewitnesses who they saw it with their own eyes, but they quickly forget, and then their brains try to reconstruct it in a way that makes sense, and so they're actually very bad at they're the worst kind of evidence, but sometimes that's all you have. But and so that I think that idea of so the juxtaposition, this is what's so interesting to me, that juxtaposition of knowing that, like, if I walk through the woods, and one of the scariest things, I will tell you this, don't like to be scared, but one of the scariest things, walking through the woods, doing the night hike out at camp, back when there was the old night hike trail, and trees falling down at random times in the forest, kind of a little, not so far away from you, but far enough away, but also close enough to you be like, all right, that tree just fell over. That's interesting.
Let's just keep walking.
Because, like, because it's at 10 o'clock at night, some trees is like, I'm giving up the ghost.
Right.
I've been standing this
Time
long.
to go.
I can't do it anymore.
Right,
The wind's not even blowing. Like, it's not like there's just no. It's just like I'm gonna fall over now.
Yeah.
I'm tired, boss. I'm gonna, and so you're like, oh, that's just a tree falling, and then like, but there opens the door to be like, okay, but why? Why is that tree falling? And that's why it could be Bigfoot who's over there just pushing over trees, and you don't even know. Yeah. And I think that so I think the interesting, I guess, then to push that even further is like there's the interesting thing of that a certain mythological creature could exist at the corners of that, because we would always convince ourselves that we were just seeing things that. Like especially in our world today, we would, unless we could basically get it recorded on some kind of electronic device, we would be able to convince ourselves that we had just imagined it. And so it's interesting to me. I think the question is interesting because, like, in the Bible, there are ghosts. At least in some very weird stories, there are ghosts.
Right.
Like there's the whole Samuel thing with Saul, where Saul goes to the Witch of Endor, and the Witch of Endor is like, I'm not a witch. Saul's been killing all the witches. And Saul's like, no. I won't kill you. I need to talk to Samuel.
Need to talk to this dead guy.
And they wake and Samuel's like, Saul, what are you doing, man? Like, what's going on, buddy? Like, this is not like so like so it's there. There's the whole thing. I mean, and this is a whole can of worms to unpack too. But there's a whole thing where like the graves were emptied after Jesus and like ghost people saw dead people walking in like droves. I mean, I think that's
Right.
in Matthew it talks about it. Kind of the graves opening and seeing,
just dead people alive again.
Yeah. Or like old. I can't remember if it's but Old Testament heroes even like kind of like they so like there are like these biblical mentions of ghosts, but I mean when you throw that alongside too, there's also like encounters with demons. Jesus is casting out demons quite often. That's not really a big part of how I live my life, and so it's just there's an interesting question of that. Is like, do you believe in ghosts? And it's like, well, I don't really.
Yeah, and so we've shifted from silly to more serious, but I do think
I was always going to do that, but yes.
Yeah. But I do think there's a difference between what I think people would label paranormal activity and spiritual activity. I think there's a difference. And I think one is people explaining strange occurrences.
Yeah.
And trying to peg it on the ghosts or paranormal stuff, activity stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's also which is probably where I would land more on the okay. I mean, whatever. I don't know if I believe you ever, because I remember. Was this? I remember being so. One of our family story time by Jim. Here we go. One of the favorite things our family likes to do when we go to hotels is totally veg out on cable TV.
Hey, this is a Paul and Callie kitten.
Yeah, you guys were part of this.
Jim's story
one of
family
these
too.
stories, and so one of these hotels. Yeah, it must have been Graham's wedding.
It was Graham's wedding, yeah.
So one of these hotels, my kids found some ghost hunter show, and they loved it.
Yeah,
because it was so ridiculously hilarious.
And it was like a marathon. It was one show after another.
Yeah, it was on one of those cable TV networks that was like, this is all you get to watch forever. And so we were binging that whole thing, and it was hilarious. I mean, like,
play that recording back.
Yeah. Did you hear what they said? And
it's calling my name.
Yeah, I think they said my name. Yeah, that you've been saying the whole episode? I'm sure they did. I'm sure that's what that little fake noise that you guys pretended to hear was. And so, anyway. So you got that whole fake side of it.
Yeah.
But then there's also a very real spiritual battle going on this planet that transcends, or I mean, that calls us into.
Yeah.
I guess I would argue on the serious side of. Those things exist so that we're called closer to Jesus. And so those moments of unexplained, like what's happening right now, can very well be moments that get that person on a very intimate level closer to Jesus or further away from Jesus, because of the, I don't know. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I haven't really fleshed out a theology of demons and why God allows that, and that's part of it. But if I read through the Gospels, at least, and in the New Testament, and what the purpose was there. It was always to emphasize Jesus' supremacy over that. And so, despite what it looks like, despite that person's inability, and to overcome those things. And so I think it really just emphasizes that moment of where we all need it, of I can't and he can, so I'm going to hand it over to him, you know, like, and so I think that's, I don't know, that's where I get serious about, like, the paranormal, like,
Right.
are there things we can't explain? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can explain everything.
Right.
I think there's and kind of like you said, I don't want my brain to just fill in the gaps and explain it for me so that it all makes sense. Because there's a space that I need to realize, okay, I might not understand all of this, but my God is bigger, and he'll help me somehow.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, I mean, I would argue, like, I guess where I come from this, and you might be similar. I think we've had some conversations about this, but I would argue that there is an awareness that you have from the New Testament that there's something going on, that there is a battle, but there is, like, if God wanted us to be, these, I guess, exorcists, that he would have left a clear instruction. Like the instructions that he leaves are go make disciples. Like he doesn't leave the instructions of, like, hey, you're gonna come across some people who have, demon possession.
mm-hmm.
Here's how you solve that. Like,
right.
So it would be much clearer if
yeah.
that was supposed to be a full big portion of what it was to, like even Paul, I think, is like, no, following Christ is much more about these things. There are some other things out there, and if you're in that situation, I think that, like, Paul and Jesus might be like, the Holy Spirit will tell you what to say. You'll know what to do when you get to that moment if you're clued in. But it's not presented in such a way of, like, this is going to be a reality. And it's presented much more in a way of, like, what you're going to deal with is, like, people who are hard to love,
mm-hmm.
and your job is to love them. Like,
right.
Not so much like you're not going to be on super demon watch. You're going to be on
mm-hmm.
the people. You're supposed to love people, and people are hard to love, but that's going to be your job. Is, like, you got to love them.
Yeah.
And that is so much more in the New Testament, and so, like, it doesn't shy away from supernatural things. And even Paul says, our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against its powers and principalities. But he's even in that, he's like, so we come back to Jesus and we rely on him to help us be the people that we need to be.
Right.
So I rely on,
and not only
that.
Jesus would have, but even the apostles would have written down
some steps
because
step one,
because they experienced both. Right.
Right.
First time out, the disciples on their own, experienced miraculous healings and casting out demons, and then they come second time out and they come to this guy that they just can't do it, and they lean on Jesus and they go, what's going on? We can't do it now. And
Jesus is like, well, this one only comes out with much prayer, and fasting,
like, prayer and fasting, and he goes
and the disciples are like, what do you think we were doing, Jesus?
Why are you saying those things? Yeah. And I think it's an emphasis, and you can see that emphasis all the way through the New Testament. If you're looking for those things because it's not a system,
right?
Because it's not some checklist. It's you have to be fully reliant on Jesus and who he is.
Yeah.
Not not even your history or your past experiences with Jesus. And, well, this falls into this experience, so it's going to end up the same.
Not even proclaiming the name of Jesus, because you have an Acts, you have the sons of, I forget there, but they try to cast out the demons and try to use Jesus and Paul's names. They're like, Jesus I know, Paul I know. Well, I don't know who you guys are.
Yeah, you guys are different. Yeah.
So not even just like the power of, like, I mean, that of course is Hollywood, but the power of Christ compels you, like
Sure.
that whole thing of, like, yeah, it can, if it is being flowing through you and active in you, then there are times when then you can then compel, if so led and called to do that, because of the power that Christ that flows through you, the Holy Spirit flows through you. But there's not there's not like a book or a direction of, like, hey, here's how to deal with these type of things.
Mm-hmm.
Which
is funny that I think we're probably stepping on a few people's toes. Luckily they were only listened to by 2 or 3 people, so not those people. But I mean, I'm sure there's even Christian traditions that say there is a process. There is a system.
Yeah.
And but I think they would also acknowledge that through that system, the core of it is we're trying to benefit this world by ushering in the kingdom.
Right.
And so the system is just a way to help you get there.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think the Christian tradition is pretty wide as far as how do we do religion. Right. And I think there's some that you could find that are very systematic and organized, and this is the steps that you go through.
Right. Well, and I guess I would say that in my experience, because I can't speak for, some experiences that people have in other countries, other cultures, because I don't experience those. So in my experience, this is what I would say. Since we're talking about whether you and I believe in that, I think that, like, I have some belief in that because it's in the Bible, like, that people are demon possessed.
Mm-hmm.
But how much is that true? And have I met anyone? Like, man, I don't know. Like, that's just not where, that's just not where my mind or my spiritual thoughts go. And maybe I'm deficient in that. I'm not saying I'm not, but just it's just not been. I mean, I grew up in a very low key. We don't even talk about the Holy Spirit kind of church. So So
part of me wonders if some of that is where the very intimate Jesus touches your faith. Because part of me wonders if a lot, having grown up in a very Baptist, American evangelical tradition, if my need to be right and understand through the lens of the Bible trumps my being okay with things that just are not explainable. Yeah. And part of me, sometimes that creeps into my faith of in various ways of, but God, this is the clear way that you've told me to go. Right. And this is how I'm going to get there. But that's a very rigid, like, but I'm trying to draw your heart closer to me too. I'm gonna step in and kind of give you a curveball that you can't explain, and it doesn't need to be explained because this is just for you. And I think if I look at the miracles in the gospel,
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite miracles is definitely the bleeding woman, just because of the situation and how little we get about her. And
I just talked about the previous podcast.
there you go. There you go. So going back to that,
yeah.
which I'm gonna totally mess up because I'm just pulling right out of my head.
You listen to and obviously you're now.
Oh yeah, that's why it came up in my head too, because I totally.
Sorry, I derailed that. Yes,
totally listened to that.
Yes, the bleeding woman. Yes.
But it's those miracles that she just believed who Jesus was, and that's what healed her.
Yeah.
She believed that all she needed to do was touch a little bit of him, and she would be healed.
Yeah.
And he pauses everything.
Yeah.
And says, "That's what I'm looking for."
Right.
Not an explanation, not a "this makes sense," not a "okay, lady, this is why this makes sense to you."
Yeah.
He just says, "That is the faith I'm looking for." You know, like, and if you really look at all the miracles that he's doing, they all kind of revolve around that of.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that whole idea of that was very specifically, deeply for that person.
Yeah.
And we get it recorded because there were eyewitnesses, and it was significant in the telling of who Jesus is.
Yeah. I think that I love that story because and I'm stealing this from Mark Buchanan from the Your Church is Too Safe, but I love that story because it's just a reminder that in the Old Testament understanding, when the unclean woman who's been bleeding, so she is unclean, she's considered, she can't approach God, and it's not really anything that she's done. Like, there are things that I have done, sins that I have done that's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I have put that barrier between me and God. But now you have this woman, and she is just bleeding her body, and she has tried to fix it.
Right.
Because as long as she has this problem, she is unclean, she's unholy, she can't actually approach God.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the Old Testament view, when she touches Jesus, what happens is her unholiness transfers to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So if she were to touch a priest would then have to go through a ritual of cleansing themselves because they touched someone who was unclean has touched them. But what happens is that when she touches Jesus, Jesus doesn't become unclean. It actually goes the other way. His holiness heals her and she becomes clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just that, like, the frustration that Jesus had so much with his his people who he walked around with was that there was so much about the religion that actually, in the attempts to try to demonstrate what holiness was, basically barred people from being able to approach God at all.
Mm-hmm.
And like the lame man who, his four friends carry him through the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can't go to he can't walk, and so he can't go to temple.
Mm-hmm.
He can't go. Even if he did, he couldn't go into the inner. He would be held back to the outside parts of it because of his disability. He couldn't get anywhere closer to God. And so here comes his four friends, and they literally tear a hole in the roof to set him next to God, because they're like he needs healing, and Jesus is like, even more than that, my friend, you need this connection with God that brings wholeness, and it's more than just your body. I'm going to heal you too. Don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take care of that too.
Right.
But he's like, the four friends were so desperate to bridge that gap because he was cut off from God again because he was born that way, because of the time that he lived, and I think those are the reasons that Jesus wept a lot, because it was like holiness was supposed to be this is an example of how to be holy, but it wasn't supposed to cut us off from God. Like, it wasn't supposed to totally remove us. It was supposed to help us understand. And so it's something that I didn't learn until probably my maybe my mid-30s, when I read that book. But it just makes so much more sense that Jesus is saying, okay, no, and it's not, and then it comes down to, honestly, and I think what the woman understood rightly, whether she knew it or not, was it wasn't really what was going on the outside of her body. She wasn't unclean because she was bleeding. She was unclean because she had a sinful heart, but she had, but because of what she believed in her heart so strongly. If I just touch Jesus, like that faith, like if I just even brush the hem of his robe, I will be healed. And I'm not even going to ask. Like, I'm not asking. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to bother Jesus, right? I'm not trying to make a scene. I'm not trying to beg him. I'm not going to. I'm just going to touch his robe, and I'll be healed. And like it was almost like this involuntary healing. Jesus was like, power has left me. Like,
right.
who touched me? And the disciples were like, Jesus, buddy.
There's
do you see the crowd?
We're all touching you.
Who has
Everybody.
touched you? He's like, no. Who touched me? And the woman knew she was had, but that very just that sense of like, when Jesus is touched, the Holy One is touched by something that's unholy. In the Old Testament, that transference of unholiness goes to that person, but in the New Testament, with Jesus and the Holy Spirit, it actually covers that unholiness. And so now this person, she's been physically healed, but then Jesus stops, and I think that's the best part says about Jesus is Jesus is like, no, I need everybody to know that this woman has been healed. She is no longer unclean. She's no longer ostracized. She's no longer unable to worship God. She's been restored, and the only way to do that is to be like, everybody stop. Everybody look at this woman. You all know who she is. Right. You all know what she's gone through. Yeah, she's clean, and that was important. Not more so than just the healing. The healing was obviously big, because
that's what a miracle is. Right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. But
more so than that was but I'm restoring you to a place where you can have fellowship with God. So I love that one. That was, yeah. If you want to hear more about that, you can listen to my last podcast.
Flip back the podcast, and you got a couple
called Jesus Ate with Sinners.
There you go.
Because I can't avoid. I have since given up on all social media for a while, so I don't have to see it. But I can't avoid the Jesus hung out with sinners, but he also told them to go and sin no more. Let's not forget that part. I can't ever stop. I try, but it's hard for me not to reply to that, because I want to be like, let me bring some perspective to this every time. So let me ask you the weirdest question I found in this list of questions that I found researching 10 minutes before. All right. So let me ask you the weirdest question is the follow-up question. Let me ask you the first question, and then I think I know the answer, but maybe I'll be surprised. Okay. And then the weird question is the second question.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
What is the best or scariest horror movie you've ever seen? What's the best one? Like, what's your favorite?
I don't like horror movies, so
that's what I thought. Okay.
It's a strange. How do you qualify the best of poop?
I don't like to watch them at all. I rarely have watched them.
I'd have to say, I don't even know if it qualifies as a horror movie, but Silence of the Lambs?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we were in high school. No, pre-high school when that came out.
I've never seen it.
Oh, yeah? So
I only know the famous parts.
I think I was... it was definitely pre-high school. Parts. It was definitely junior high. So 7th, 8th grade. Yeah. A friend of mine and I watched it. And then we were supposed to go to bed. And we were like, we got to watch like Tommy Boy or something. Because that was creepy.
It's not so much here or here, but right here.
Yeah, so I think we watched something like that, Tommy Boy or something, whatever comedy was after that.
Right.
Because that was just, Silence of the Lambs was just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I've never seen it. I know all the pop culture references because something about fava beans and...
But I'm not a huge horror guy, so I don't think I would... I think I might have watched one Friday the 13th or or Halloween. I wouldn't even know the difference between that and Halloween and Jason. They all kind of came out or were popular at the same time.
Okay.
So those would be the ones that I know about.
When I was in high school, so, I mean, we're obviously pretty close. I mean, you a little older than me by, 6 months.
Yeah.
So I remember going over to a friend's house and we watched the movie Scream because that was when Scream came out.
Okay, Scream I did watch. Yeah.
I did not find it particularly entertaining, but there's a line. There's a line in the movie that has stuck with me. So now let's see. I was like probably 16, maybe 17. So
Sure.
All these years later, when the killer is revealed, it was a dude who played in some other movies. I think he played Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movie. It's like, it's Shaggy, but he's like, oh, he's basically getting killed because he was like, they're fighting back against the murderer, and he was like, my parents are gonna be so mad, and like that line has stuck with me. That's that's pretty much the only thing I remember from that movie, and thinking like, really, like that's the line that we're throwing in there. I don't know, for whatever. That's the core memory I have of watching that.
Right.
The other scary movie I know that I don't even know that I watched it, but I know it was on TV. Was the movie It?
I never saw the movie. I don't believe I've seen it. I read the book, and that was scary too. That was probably the scariest book I've ever read.
The end. I could be totally making this up. So
there again, junior high.
Yeah. So I could be totally making this up. Let me just say this. So if you are a huge fan of It, and not the new ones, because I definitely haven't seen those, but the original It that was on, that they showed on TV when I was in junior high or high school, they, oh man, part of it is like he came in through the shower, like through the drain, like through the water, like and that definitely happened. Buh. And and then at the end he's supposed to be killed, but he's still laughing. Like that's the final shot of the movie is like they go to like this clown and like his heart still going, or he's laughing and that was like, I was like, all right, I think I'm good on scary movies for the rest of my life. I'm good. I don't need anything else. So here's the weird question.
All right, hold on. So that brought up.
Okay.
So The Stand, also written by Stephen King.
Right.
It was not. I didn't read the book. I saw it was a TV series.
TV series, yeah.
I do remember that, watching that and being kind of scared of that, and I kind of actually like that one.
Okay.
Because it's not like jump out scary. Like those are the ones I definitely don't watch.
Right.
But and then going way back, maybe the reason, I guess, if they're again playing psychologist, the reason I don't like horror movies is probably because I was playing at my cousin's house and they were watching some movie that had there was a moment in the movie, and I think I was playing with my younger cousins, and then we just ran through the living room at this moment when my older cousins were watching this movie, and there was a giant ant that was eating a dude, like just in the worst way. As a kid, you're like, that's.
I'm done with ants.
So
I'm done
gross,
with horror.
So yeah, I think that did two things that made me hate ants and not like horror movies for the rest of my life.
The other core memory I have about movies and horrible things, so Mad Max 3, Because Mad Max 2 was Return to Thunderdome, and Mad Max 3 was...
Oh, I never really got into the Mad Maxes.
Okay, well, in Mad Max 3 or 2, I don't remember which one, but not Mad Max 1. I know it wasn't Mad Max 1.
Okay.
So either in 2 or 3, the Mad Max has this tribe of people that he's like protecting, and he kind of has a family, and they're crossing the desert, and they come across quicksand, and one of the kids gets sucked under the quicksand and dies. Like core memory of like I don't
like this.
I don't want
this is
this is like so yeah, that and also I also dislike Never Ending Story because that stupid dragon cat thing is
the big hairy cat thing
freaky, but also the horse gets caught in the swamp of despair and also dies. Like
I kind of remember that.
Yeah,
I think I've only
spoilers,
seen that movie
spoilers once. If you haven't seen a movie that came out 40 years ago,
right.
Just spoilers. But all right, so here's the weird question.
Right.
Those are my core memories of movies that I still have today.
Asking about horror movies in this room is kind of weird, but okay.
Which horror movie villain would you want to be friends with?
Huh.
I was just like, what?
What is the...
Which horror movie villains would you want to be friends with?
Well, does that mean he won't kill you?
I'm assuming so. Like,
I mean, like it's just one of those...
You're just friends.
Axe murders that like you can
That's
hang
my
out
bud.
With. Yeah,
we hang out. That's cool.
Well, so being a child of the 90s and 80s, Freddy was a big, scary dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ugly, so I don't think I'd want to.
Just not want to hang out with him.
I just don't. I mean, it would be a zero eye contact kind of relationship of like, I just can't look at you, man. Like, you're a freaky looking dude.
We could text. No
FaceTime.
No FaceTime.
Yeah, same with the Leprechaun. If you're into the Leprechaun, like I remember that horror movie coming out and being like, nope, no, I'm not, nope. So I'm trying to whittle it down.
I feel like the answer has already been said. And it depends. Do you consider Frankenstein's monster a villain of the movie? Because he's not really.
I mean, he had a vendetta.
Yeah.
And he had a mission, and he fulfilled that mission.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like he could have gotten to the North Pole, and Santa could have been like, "Looking, buddy,
there's some redemption.
Everything can be redeemed.
Yeah.
There is forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's boring. So I don't know if I'd want to, because he also, all the way through the book, is described as hideous. So I don't know if I would want to hang out.
Okay.
Plus, he's like 9 feet tall. He'd ruin all of your furniture.
I mean, he was decomposing, made of decomposing corpses. So
right.
There's some problems there for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I will tell you that the one that I wouldn't say now, but I probably would have said when I was younger.
What you got?
Slimer from the Ghostbusters.
Okay. Does he qualify?
I guess don't know. He's not
really a villain. They kind of turned him into a good guy even in the first movie.
He kind of he was just kind of there in the first movie. I think it's been a while since I've watched it, but in the cartoons, he definitely became like their pet ghost.
Yeah, because I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to watch the first one again.
Yeah, you could be right, but I mean that would be one that I would be like, I'd hang out with Slimer. It's not really a villain though, so maybe I'll keep thinking.
Stay Puff. I mean, on imagine being friends with a giant marshmallow man.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Plus, when he got angry, man, there'd be some serious repercussions.
Yeah. I don't watch enough horror movies to even, like, to even know.
Yeah, because I definitely wouldn't want to be friends with the villain in Silence of the Lambs, because he was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of it. I mean, like that, you're a weird dude, man. Like, I don't want to hang around you.
Yeah. That's why it's just kind of, it's
and then
strange
Jason
to
has
me.
some weird mom addiction thing that's going on that...
The whole murdering people is gonna be a deal breaker, man. Like you can't go around murdering people. That's just the way it is.
I don't know. I mean, I could get over the murdering people. He's not trying to murder me, so whatever. It's the weird, like, Jason, you're connected to your dead mom, man. Like, that's weird.
Well, is she really dead? Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. It's just it seemed like a strange question to me. Which villain would you want to be friends with?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy.
No.
Yeah, because I'd have him over to chop trees up with me.
You're like, hey, I heard you like chainsaws.
Hey, dude.
Hey.
I got some tree work to do. Come on over.
No, we're not killing anybody. Just trees.
Just trees today.
Just trees.
Yeah, it would be, hey, I'm going to empty camp and just nobody be on camp today. Because my friend's coming over. And he just goes nuts with the chainsaw. So,
like nuts. Yes.
So you don't want to be around him.
What's your favorite scary story or ghost story? I don't know that many, but I have to, like, the classic one for me.
These are weird questions to ask in this room because we just both admitted that we avoid all things.
I know, but I have to, like, I mean, I have spent most of my adult life just being like, no, I'm not doing that. But I think my favorite, the one story that sticks with me is the people who are, the basic premise is always the same, but the people who are like their car breaks down or they're hanging out at a campsite and they finally make it to a car and drive away, and then when they get to the police station they open the door and the guy's hook hand is still on the door handle, like they drove away just in time and they yanked his hook hand off of his body.
Okay. All right. Okay.
They just barely escaped with their lives.
I think my favorite scary story is imagine a culture that hands the person in charge to whoever they feel like is best suited, and so they vote some strange dude into running the whole government and start making weird decisions. Oh wait, that's real life. That's my favorite scary story. My favorite scary story is real life.
Oh, I'm depressed now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so for both of our listeners that may be on one side of the aisle or other, I didn't define who that person was.
Right.
It doesn't matter because
you thought of them. Whoever you thought of.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Let's see. Favorite scary story.
Well, think about that. Think about this. What's the most underrated Halloween movie?
I don't even know what a underrated Halloween movie.
Yeah, I have two.
I
have two that I'll name.
Oh, you got hit it.
Shaun of the Dead. Okay. Probably not underrated, but that's the one that I that's the zombie movie that I enjoy the most.
Okay. That's that satire one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they make fun of all the decisions that people make in horror movies.
Sure.
And then the other one is Dell and is it Dell and Tucker versus evil.
Oh yeah, the one where they're just in the woods and then all these college kids just start dying around them. Yeah. That one's hilarious.
I don't know, officer. I think there's some kind of suicide pact. They just
Yeah, that one's hilarious. The dude just dove into the chipper.
He's trying to pull him out, like, no! And then everybody else from watching from a distance, like, he's shoving him in there.
Yeah, that one's hilarious.
So I can't recommend that if you are not okay with gore or language.
That one's definitely gore.
But
definitely
worth a watch. I mean, it is a horror movie because it is definitely like there is a evil dude trying to kill people, but it's not the rednecks.
Yeah, it's
not. Or is it? Oh, I don't want to ruin it for you.
Maybe it could be. Maybe they're doing it on purpose. Yeah, that one's funny. Those are that's funny because that's about as close to horror as we both can get. Like, yeah, that's it. Underrated Halloween movie. I do think Night of the Pumpkin, the Peanuts one. The
Great Pumpkin.
Great Pumpkin is overrated.
Oh, hot take. You heard it here, folks. If you don't agree with Jim, make sure you email in and let him know that he's wrong about it.
As a kid, I don't think I really was like...
It's weird.
What is the great... I don't understand
it's
this Great
weird.
Pumpkin one.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's just a weird one.
So is it Charlie or is it Linus? I can't remember. But they're like, I'm going to go to set in this pumpkin patch for the great...
I think Linus is the advocate for the great
pumpkin whatever, who's gonna come by and give me a Halloween
it's like a weird deal.
What are we even doing here?
Yeah.
So I've never heard of the great Lord of Halloween and the Lord Pumpkin, but I guess. Yeah, I don't know if it's overrated. I don't know anybody that likes it. But I don't. That's not a complete. The only other person that I've talked about it with is you. So, but
Scooby-Doo.
Underrated. All right. So this is where I have to come.
Original Scooby-Doos, not the remakes, not the movies. This
is where I have to come clean and admit this about myself. I don't like Scooby-Doo. I don't like the originals. I as a cartoon, I just was not. It was not my thing. And I know there are people who are beloved of it, and I'm glad that there are some people, but I just never ever liked it. So you could say it's underrated, but I would say I did not. It was not.
I mean, they did get a movie, so I don't know if it's really actually underrated.
I don't know. It's just one of those cartoons, like, I enjoyed cartoons. So this is weird for me because you would think that if you enjoyed cartoons, you would like Scooby-Doo because it's a cartoon. But I did not enjoy Scooby-Doo as a cartoon. I never have. Never been my cartoon to go to. Like, it's not me.
I mean, fair. That's fair.
So.
You can not like Scooby-Doo. It's okay. Jesus still loves you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about movie. I think that's hard. It's just a basic hard question. I don't even know how much I'm into movies lately, so I don't even know if I could rate an underrated movie. Just period.
Yeah. I don't even know that I could name. I mean, I just think that Shaun of the Dead and Dale and Tucker versus Evil are movies that should be watched, and I want to throw
Secret
them out
Life
there.
of Walter Mitty. Underrated.
Underrated, 100%.
I mean, that's a good one.
100% underrated because not only is it this is an amazing movie, it also has an amazing soundtrack, and so both are really good. So, I got.
I would argue that the core premise of it is really once you stop analyzing Walter Mitty's stupidity, because if you get a gift as a wallet, who doesn't just fly through it?
Yeah.
You know, like
Right. You're gonna open it up.
you're gonna open it up, you're gonna
Right.
look in it,
Yeah.
but he never does. Like
Right.
not once. And so I don't know. Once you get over that, then
Yeah.
sorry for those of you that haven't watched it, but I'm not giving away anything.
Also, that movie's 15 years, maybe 10 years old. So, also, if you haven't seen it,
We are so old. We're not even bringing up any kind of modern movies at all.
nope. Yeah. So here, I speaking of emails, so emailing Jim, since I brought that up. So if you guys if you guys love the Great Pumpkin Patch mystery, please email Jim and let him know. Apparently, you can just use my email address because
I'd prefer it actually if you used Paul's.
because we did get
Go to
an email.
Unbroken Ground something.
The unbrokenground at gmail.com.
There you go.
We did get an email from this is AI, and I love AI. I love AI for lots of reasons, but
Well, that's good because they will be our overlords.
I welcome them.
So if you,
I do welcome Gracie Smith. If you're a real person, Gracie, I'm sorry. Don't use AI like this. This was the email, and I sent this to Jim because I find it hilarious.
it is funny. I did read this.
And there's one phrase in here that I think is my favorite. So they send this person is trying to connect with us at the Unbroken Ground, which is if they had actually listened, they never would. But they said they did. And it says this, "Hi Jim," which is funny on different levels, mostly because Jim is not really the host of the show or have anything to do with getting
I
guests.
just show up and Paul's like, "Hey, Jim's here. Let's record."
But that's what so somehow they're like, I know who I'll talk to. I'll talk with Jim. Mm-hmm. This will be my end. He says, "Hi, Jim. I genuinely enjoyed your latest September episode. The blend of honest conversation and stumbling reflections makes the Unbroken Ground feel so approachable." And what I love about this is that in no world is stumbling reflections a positive, nice thing to say to anybody.
Yeah.
You know how you guys just kind of stumble through this whole thing, which maybe is true. Like I'm not even saying that she's not saying something true.
That is kind of how we wander through this thing.
Stumbling reflections, as though we are nursing home old men.
Well, we're close.
Oh, you remember back in the day. The way you champion, it's approaching and refreshingly real. The way it is, it's real 100%. There's nothing. The way you champion journeying through uncertainty remind me of someone I know who also navigated faith with conviction and grit. Reagan Van Steenis. Now, for those of you who don't know,
Reagan Van Steenis.
Yes, Reagan Van Steenis is the founder of Church Law and Strategy. She spent 20 years as the chief legal counsel for Lakewood Church and Joel Osteen's ministries. But she goes on and she's like, maybe you'd like her to come on your podcast, which I'm not actually against. I definitely am. I would struggle with platforming someone without having several more conversations about that. But I just wanted to point out that if you're going to email Jim, Maybe don't say that he stumbles through his.
I mean, I'll have you on. I won't question you. I mean,
stumbling reflections.
The fact that you put together some lawyer for a giant church.
Yeah.
Or you were a lawyer for a giant church has zero relevance to my life at all. So, I mean, I don't know what we'd talk about, but...
So she did follow up. Hi, Jim. Wanted to pause and say thank you for considering the last note in introducing Reagan Van Steenis. But most of this one is mostly just about her. This doesn't say anything about our podcast or why she enjoys it. Everything is just more of, hey, this is...
who she is.
Who she is, yeah.
He? Reagan?
She. It's a female.
Okay.
Reagan Van Steenis. So, some of that was AI. Guarantee you.
Huh. If not all of it?
If not all of it. But some of that was AI.
Have we Googled Reagan?
I've not.
Have we found out who she is? I mean, is that real? Is that a real thing?
Let's see.
Can we send an email back to her?
Hello. Also,
say, hey, you reached out to us.
Also,
we're in some need of legal advice.
Reagan Van, there's probably not. There's not too many of those out there, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh. Reagan Van Steenis, you have your own consulting.
What if this is all just fully AI? What if right now you're looking at an AI created lawyer?
Well, I saw something,
which would be the invitation for you to be at the forefront of inviting AI as our overlords, to have an AI lawyer. It'd be a way.
It says pastor's daughter. I wonder if she's Joel Osteen's daughter. All right.
You mean the head of a giant church with tons of money made his daughter the head lawyer? Huh. That doesn't seem shady at all. It seems totally based on merit.
No, I guess it's not. That's not. Okay. So she's some other pastor's daughter. I mean, she has there's a presence.
There's stuff out there.
There's a presence.
Okay. So she may or may not be a real person.
I just have to say up front, because I do know a little bit how marketing and that stuff works, and not a lot of people listen to this podcast, and that's not like downplaying. I'm just saying, like, no one. So I'm wondering if what they're going to come back with is, if you want me to come talk on your podcast, all you have to do is pay me $500, and then I will come talk, because there's no way they're like, we got to tap into the Unbroken Grounds listening, because
it'll build our viewership,
because we don't have that. Like, and if I'm on some list that says that we do, you got to get me off. I don't know, because we're not that. So I'm really, really wondering if it's hey, if you'll pay me $500, I'll come talk on your podcast.
So,
and I don't even pay Jim that. So
yeah, that's true. That's not what I get. How?
Yes.
How big does your church need to be to have a lawyer on staff?
Do
you think Richwoods? Do you think your church?
We don't have a lawyer on staff. We probably have a lawyer on retainer.
You probably have a lawyer that you lean into?
Yeah, I would say so. I would imagine we would. Or a law firm.
Sure.
But, or there may be I don't know, I haven't had to do a lot of legal things, so, but I would imagine, or maybe there's a member who's a lawyer that's like, when you guys need legal advice.
Yeah, I got
hit
you.
Me up. So, Northwoods? I don't even think Northwoods has one on staff.
Riverside is going to need a lawyer.
Oh, yeah. That's such a weird. That's so weird. I don't even know anything more about it. But so here's my thing. All right. Well, since you brought it up, when the whole thing broke, I read on Facebook the message that the elders put out. And the way that the elders made it sound, it was just like, oh, the pastor has asked us to remove him. We weren't going to, but he has asked us to go ahead and remove him from his position of leadership. Mm-hmm. Which made it sound like, at least from someone on the outside looking in, like this is all just a big misunderstanding. We'll sort through this. It'll be proven innocent of whatever, and it'll all be fine. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem that, again, I have not tried to seek out, and I don't know anything going on there, but the pastor did get arrested. So that's, I mean, there's been people who've been falsely arrested, so I'll freely admit that. But it doesn't seem like that's the way it's going to work. But it was just so, like, just so different, dissonant of, like, the message was just like, yeah, he asked for us to make sure that he could, like, to remove him from all these places. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't like the elders weren't like, hey, you got arrested.
If they would have said it differently, it would be harder for him to defend himself. Because there again, I don't really know. I mean, there again, I only know what maybe the news and the media has put out about. Right. And this is local, so all you media's people that are crazy against me, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just this is just local news.
Right.
And so.
And I don't even know what happened.
I think you can trust it, but it's all written in a way that it could be something really, really terrible, and he deserves to go to jail. Mm-hmm. It could also be something that's just like anti-gay literature that could have offended somebody and the wrong people.
Yeah.
And so they found legal ways to retaliate. Mm-hmm. And so it could be anything in that whole spectrum.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's unfortunate, and I hope and I pray that it wasn't something gross, because we all know that we don't need any more major Christian leaders doing gross things.
Yeah.
But it could also be just an intersection of this is a big enough church, a big enough pastor, and we see a way to advocate our anti-Christian belief.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it could be any side of that whole spectrum.
Because it's a really weird, like, he was charged with, like, disseminating harmful materials to a minor.
Right.
Like, and so that's such a broad thing, but it's not like, it's not like the other side of things of, like, that there was a relationship, you know, like that
right. It wasn't like
this.
It wasn't like a direct abuse,
right,
or direct physical,
right,
or direct, like, person to person thing.
As far as we can tell from what the briefest of readings of news and what they charged him with, that's all So it could be something that, you know, once it goes to maybe doesn't go to court, but just goes a little investigating later, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, we shouldn't have done that, or maybe he did something he shouldn't have sent to a minor. Depending on whose standard he definitely, I don't even know the dude, so, like, he definitely could be both innocent in this, or he could be like, he's human. He could be, it could be his fault, and he should not have done these things. But
yeah, it's just I mean, I think that's as far as we can go as far as speculating about all that. But I think it just reminds me that God is always watching us. And I mean, maybe going full circle, that's an aspect of our modern culture that is, I believe, a vein of our the spiritual warfare that we're in. Of like, if he handed Christian material to the wrong person,
sure,
and it was just Christian material of like, just conservative Christian, like, there's man and there's woman, there's you don't have sex before marriage, all the way through. Maybe you could probably insult somebody by saying there is a hell and you will go if you don't believe Jesus. Like, that there are some very hard lines in Christianity that people on the outside can say, hey, that's scaring my kids, or that's harming my kids.
Right.
And so
this is harmful material. You shouldn't send this.
Right.
And I think.
And so I think it just emphasizes that.
Yeah.
I mean, going beyond our local story of that pastor guy, of just that whole being adamant that God is consistently redeeming your heart and not allowing the dark corners that we all have to continue.
Yeah.
Because I think the theme we see in all of these major Christian guys, there's, Ravi Zacharias was probably the last one.
The guy from Texas.
I don't know how long ago Ravi Zacharias was.
But the guy from a couple of weeks ago, the guy from Texas, that was a major church pastor that admitted to, sexually abusing a minor when, like 20 years ago. Robert Morris, that's his name. Like that happened. Yeah, that broke a couple, maybe like last month. So that's the most recent one. Ravi was like a couple months ago. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, like, I don't. Yeah. So the Texas one is harder because that's from his past, and so.
Right.
What I'm saying is, we even as believers, we have dark spaces.
Yeah.
In our hearts.
Yeah.
And I think one of the hardest things to do is to shine light on those dark spaces.
Yeah.
And especially the older I get, the more I'm like, God will redeem me.
Yeah.
Not in a... It becomes more of a like, I wish I could get rid of this, but it just seems to keep popping up in my life. And I think as a leader, I think that's one of the things that you have to be really, really aware of. Yeah. Because I think you're either going to get better at hiding that dark corner, and it's just going to grow and fester, and God will step in eventually, somehow. Whether it's through everybody finding out and it becomes a fall on your face in front of everybody moment, or even at the very least, just in that whole, imagine seeing Jesus and him going, I did cover all your sin.
Right.
But that one thing, You know, like just, I don't even know if you'd have to have a conversation. I feel like as soon as I see the holy, that is all I see. I mean,
Yeah.
if I, that's where we start getting into that mystical. I don't know what it is to see the holy, but Isaiah definitely thought he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it seems like every time an angel seems to show up, people are terrified first. So I feel like that light would be shown into those corners, and that would be all we'd see.
I think for me, so two things. One is, what I struggle with is the tendency for us to put almost an absolute trust in leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to be. Callie and I were having this discussion the other day, and this is pretty sexist, but like, Debbie Downer is like, there's not a guy version of that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like, or there's another one that's a girl, and it's just like, that's like, there's not really a guy version of that. It's just for girls. I don't know. Like, wow, welcome to our culture. Mm-hmm. But but like, every leader's gonna fail.
Maybe all guys are downers. That's why we don't need one.
Grumpy Gus. I don't know. It just doesn't.
Oh yeah, Grumpy Gus.
You're gonna be a Grumpy Gus
before.
Maybe that's what it is. But all leaders are gonna fail at one point or another. They're not always gonna be right. And like, as a leader, I think some of the hardest things that you have to do is lead, even if like you're not confident you're right. And so that's not talking necessarily about the darkness necessarily, but mm-hmm. but even just to be like, I think I know what God wants us to do.
Mm.
And I'm confident in it. I'm confident when I know what God wants us to do. And then at some point, like maybe God is like, hey, you had some things right, but man, you were off over here, and you got to do a 180, or you got to do maybe just a 90. Maybe you don't have to do a 180. Maybe just a little bit. But as a leader, to be like, yeah, I do my best, but I actually don't have that direct line that I just go, I can do what I think I'm hearing. And on the other side is the expectation, like as followers, like whoever that leader is, like they're not perfect. They sin maybe every day. Maybe even twice a day. Like, I mean, but just think about you and me. Like, we're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We're not free from sin, and so we like. I think for me that is I'm really learning from. I just really. I told you this the other day. I'm thinking through. Because I read a short devotional on love deeply, because it covers the multitude of sin, and so I've been listening to different versions of 1 Peter, and I'm like, man, I need to remind myself that all of life is to be lived to the glory of God, because it gets so easy to partition it off. But you read First Peter is kind of answering, like the whole book is answering this question: what do you do? How do you live knowing that you are a stranger and an alien in this land? Like, this is not your home. And if this is not your home, then how do you live? And like the whole book is just, most of it's about love. It's like love like your life. That's the way Peterson puts it in that version of that verse. He says, love like your life depends upon it. And I was just talking to Callie this morning. We were driving to her doctor's appointment, and I was saying, if you filled that in, like with what our society says, like what would you like if you're given those instructions, like, all right, Peter, who's seen like John, and obviously John's the loved disciple, but he's like experienced Jesus, and he's like, hey, I need to tell you the most important thing: love like your life depends upon it. He's like, you do that, and you'll get everything else will figure out. You can figure it out, right? He's like, but if we were in our world, what would you say? And Callie almost immediately was like, work like your life depends upon it. Like that's what our society would say. Work. If you're not working hard, what are you even doing? Work like your life, and you're like amass money, amass things, amass wealth like your life depends upon it, amass power. Like those are the things that I think our society would say. If I'm going to give you those kind of like last instructions or best instructions for how you ought to live your life, and Peter is like going, you don't belong. Like you're an alien, you're a stranger. Try to live in such a way that you don't disrupt. You're just peaceful. And even if they want to bring charges against you, they can't. Like they'll be fools because they'll be like that guy, and everybody will be like that guy, the one that lives so well and loves us so well. That's not a guy we want to persecute. Like we love that guy.
Yeah.
He's like that's how you ought to live. And I think. For me, it's just a reminder that, like, I don't know, you've since you were 5. Obviously, there's some things in between there, and since I was 7, like I've been trying to chase what it is to follow Jesus, and I still feel like I'm missing in so many ways that I still have so many ways to grow, and for me, like, it just brings back. So coming back to leaders is like. Yeah, God may have placed you in a place of authority, but I'm also going to be like, you can mess up and you can be wrong. Like, and it's such a hard thing because we don't want our leaders to be wrong.
Right.
We want them to know because we want somebody to tell us how to make sense of this world. And so we look to pastors, we look to authors, we look to maybe even podcasters. Please don't look to mine, but... There's others out there you can listen to. Francis Chan's a great one. But I mean, but like we want somebody to tell us the right answers. And when those like, what do you do when the person who tells you those right answers ends up morally bankrupt? Or maybe not bankrupt, but maybe in some...
Well, the darkness grew enough that...
Right. It shows.
The appearance shows.
Yeah. And I think like for you and I, like I know we've talked about this before, but we both listened to the Rise and Falls of Mars Hill, and one of the striking episodes is definitely when you get towards the end and these people are going, this is where I found Jesus. Like this is where so many people found Jesus. Like how can it be that so many people can find Jesus in this Mars Hills thing, and then yet it just falls apart overnight? Like because they literally shut the place down. Like
right, yeah,
24 hours.
Yeah, it was a fast fall.
And it's like how is that true? And it just is, and that God uses flawed people.
Yeah, I think it's true because I think because of some of Paul's statements of or wherever it is, just God uses the poor, he uses the meek, he uses the humble. And I think in our society, well, I think in humanity, we love those answers. Like, if we're following somebody that's changing the world, we go, yeah, this is the right move.
Right.
And I think God allows that stuff, that really hard stuff to happen because he wants to emphasize it's not a system. It's not a religion of just do the right things and you'll get the right space.
Yeah.
It's an always, every moment, pursue Jesus kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we read books like they're the Bible sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, every word in this book is great. Like, yeah, buddy, I don't. There's only one book you get to read that.
Have you heard this sermon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but
Right. There's always. I mean, and I'm not saying we always see those things. I'm sure I have favorite sermons and books and things. I mean, that's what a recommendation is hey, I really like this book.
yeah.
And there's obviously some books that I can easily qualify of, hey, read that chapter, ignore that one chapter, but all these other are pretty good.
Right.
And there's also books written. I mean, any book written by Tim Keller, how am I going to argue with any of that?
Yeah.
But are there things that could be wrong in there? Probably.
Yeah.
Because he's not writing scripture.
Yeah.
It's just a cultural perspective.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it makes sense in our culture, and it may not make sense in another culture. Like,
sure.
like the gospel does. Like the
Or
gospel makes
the
sense
older
in
I
all
get,
cultures.
it makes sense to that generation.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Mhm.
I mean, Rob Bell, pretty instrumental in youth culture in the early or late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Now, not so significant
Right.
in church culture.
Right.
Tim Keller, huge in gospel coalition, I mean, evangelical circles, conservative, I mean, whatever circles. Not that he's irrelevant anymore, but just, I mean, he's dead now, so he's a dead guy. Like, he's just one of the old guys.
Right.
Francis Chan is, I mean, I've read Francis Chan, and it sounds extremely similar to a lot of things that have been written before, you know, like that I was reading in college. And so I think it's interesting to see the cycles happen. And yeah, I think as you ponder maybe the question of, I mean, I guess I would argue that whole humility piece is probably the biggest piece in what gets those leaders to be those leaders. Because I'm sure if I met Francis Chan or I met Timothy Keller or any Mark Comer, I guess, is probably the current bigger one. I'm sure they would be asking me questions and I would end up talking more about myself than them. Because I mean, I just read that in their writings, and I feel like that's what gets Christian leaders to have followers, is that humility and that relationship. And then once it starts getting bigger, and once it starts becoming a system, that's when that nasty starts creeping in. Not to say that big churches are all bad. That I grew up in a big church and I love big churches. They provide a lot of resources.
Yeah.
But they also require small group relationships.
Yeah.
Where each individual can help others see that no, it's not because we have the right system in this church building.
Right.
It's because we're all pursuing Jesus.
Yeah.
And we're all going back to and we're all trying to love like that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yep. I think, I do think that a lot of those leaders that you named, some have passed, obviously, but I think if you ask them, I do think that they would say, I'm not like they would lean into like the, I'm doing my best, but I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes, and I like, and not even in like a false kind of like, oh, well, false humility of like, well, I'm not as
Right.
I think they would say that, but I think that we, from an outside, we have a tendency to pedestal them and be like, no, these guys, they've got it all figured out. And even like Tim Keller, like I think that he's obviously was a brilliant dude, and yeah, like amazingly at like wording things and talking, but like at some point there's also something he got wrong. Like like he's just not right about everything. Like and that's okay. Like there's probably more things I'm wrong about than I'm right about. Like if I I'm still trying to figure it all out, and that's okay. But I think the tendency to pedestal people and protect people and be like, no, we can't really talk about that, I think can lead to bad situations where we don't have accountability and we don't have that darkness where it's not being rooted out. And I think that's the danger of having a big enough church where you can hide. But yes, I'm not saying that's the badness of, like, I'm not saying big churches are bad. I'm just saying there's a danger that and you can hide in small churches too, but it just becomes harder because more people see more of your life in a small town.
Yeah. And that's not to say, I think the other side of the same coin would be the idea of you either feed the light or you feed the darkness.
Sure.
Right? And so those of us that are genuinely pursuing Jesus and have years of pursuing Jesus, you develop, just like you develop your muscles, you develop your spiritual wisdom, and your relationship with the Holy Spirit is advanced.
Right.
And I think that humility is the piece that says, it's not like math, where you need to understand arithmetic before you can understand anything else.
Right.
The Holy Spirit works in our hearts, and somebody can grab onto the depths of, somebody can come to Christ because they start understanding the Trinity. And I've never studied the Trinity. Have never, or creation, or the end times, or who the Holy Spirit is, or, all these different aspects of theology that hits our heart and our personality, and it just hits us as a whole person. And that's where Jesus starts tapping into our faith and allowing us the ability through the power of the Holy Spirit to lean on Him. And so I think there is wisdom in going to people that are leaders. Because you can very easily take this conversation and take that soundbite of the last 20 minutes that we've been talking, and very easily say, well, then nobody can be a leader. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
It's just because you have followers doesn't mean you've achieved untouchable.
Right.
Or perfection or whatever. It's in fact, and you're probably right. The guys that I've listed, I hope, are guys that are searching their heart every day, and have a circle. And I've read books. I just finished. read Steps by John Ortberg because it's an amazing book. And I think one of the things that he advocated that I would love to invite into my life is he's a retired old guy, I think. So
he's a retired old pastor, yeah.
He has more time than I do. But he, in that book, says every day he has a phone call with a guy that knows everything about him. And financial, spiritual, can ask any question. Is an accountability guy, just any question.
Yeah.
Is fair game for them. And I think it's those kind of relationships that God uses to shine the light on your darkness.
Yeah.
And that's hard. Because that means I willingly have to show somebody something that I don't really want to admit to myself.
The things you sweep under the curtain, under the rug, behind the curtain.
That was just a mistake. I made a mistake once. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And he has they have a relationship that's looking for that stuff.
Right.
You know, like that's where that go of like, what'd you sweep under the rug today? You know, and so that's the other side of that coin of there needs to be leaders. There needs to be people that are giving us that example.
Right.
That's what discipleship is, right? I just had a meeting and we ended the conversation with that whole idea of if discipleship ends with you guys shaking hands and that's it, that's not discipleship.
Right.
That was just a training program.
Yeah.
It has to end. Discipleship has to just always be on a continuum of I'm being discipled, I'm discipling, I'm being discipled, I'm discipling, I'm being that's what discipleship is.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's going to be leaders.
Yeah. Yeah. And also as leaders ought to be like, I think that's the hard thing that I think I definitely struggle with is like, that's not like, for whatever reason, discipleship was not part of how it became who I am. That doesn't mean it's going to stay that way because I'm definitely working on, different discipling relationships. But right now I mostly disciple people. And so I don't, so as a leader, one of the things that I'm missing is somebody that disciples me. And I think that leaders who don't have that, I think that's a dangerous thing. I think that's part of that accountability. But it's also, I think it's also part of the loss of the older generation of church because we've kind of we've been like, for a long time, we've been like, let's get younger and because we need to get the next generation. And so because a lot of I think the responsibility of old retired guys is to be an accountability and be a discipler for people who haven't been gone where they've gone yet. And so just finding those is hard in a lot of ways. And then I think probably if I had to admit, since, it's also hard to be humble and be like, I think, here I am, I've got a master's degree in theology, and you know what? I've never really been discipled by anybody. But I need to be. That needs to be the relationship.
Well, you have. It just hasn't been.
Yeah. I have and I haven't.
Yeah. Not a close relationship that's ongoing.
Like that relationship that's like...
Yeah.
I can ask you anything. Because I've been discipled by books. I mean, there have been people... There's things that disciple me, but...
Cloud of witnesses.
Yeah, but not that kind of... What I'm living out for somebody is like, I'm right now discipling a couple of people, and I'm helping, them ask questions. And but it's weird because And not that I've arrived. I definitely have not. I'm not saying that at all. But you kind of have this status.
Oh, I thought you got there. That's why you
yes,
didn't need any more discipling.
Oh, yes. That's why. That's why today.
That's why I'm here, because I thought, well, dang, now my whole world is crashing down.
That's why today I was all like, man, I feel like I still don't understand First Peter at all. Like how do we live? I feel like I'm going back and asking the most basic of questions.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if we're supposed to live our lives in such a good way, what does that even look like? And how have I like why haven't I been doing that if I haven't been doing that? The basic of questions of like, what does it mean to seek first the kingdom of God? Like I should probably have, and this is not to say that you should, but it's like part of me is like, you should have that figured out by now. You've been trying to do that for the last 35 years or more.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but I still have some questions. I still don't quite understand fully what that means. And like that's part of that discipleship thing, but then not necessarily having just the opportunity or even being open and available to be vulnerable and to be like, yeah, I don't have it all figured out. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm continually searching out in my heart and trying to see what that looks like, because discipleship was not the model that we used growing up. It's something I'm learning.
Yeah, and it's hard. I think growing up in our traditions, it wasn't. The discipleship was. The misguided portion of discipleship was, once you get to this level, you become a discipler.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not reciprocal.
Right.
And I think that's detrimental.
Yeah.
Because now I'm 45 and I go, yeah, but
someone
I have questions also.
You need someone pouring into you.
Yeah.
Who's being poured into, by the way. Like we're not, like, there is no top level. There is no top level of somebody being like, I'm enough. I don't need a discipler like that, and that's what you're. That cycle there that you need to be pouring into. Somebody pouring into you because you're pouring into people, and then eventually those people should pour into people because that's the cycle. But it should never reach that point where it's like, I've arrived, because who's arrived?
Right, and it doesn't have to necessarily be. I mean, it's nice when it's. Traditional, older, younger, et cetera, et cetera.
True.
But I know there's also relationships that I have that are more nuanced than that, of like, there's just specific areas that person doesn't struggle with, so he sees it different in my life, or they have a totally different perspective or mindset on how life works, and so they can call me out on like, well, that's not how I see that.
I gotta think about that.
And you're like, oh, okay, well, I thought that was just a given,
right?
And it's because of the different personality, and so I don't think it necessarily has to be, especially when you start getting older, because you keep. I've been pursuing Jesus hard since I've been 21 or 20 or whenever that was. And so, even somebody that's new to the faith can ask me questions that's like, that's a
good question.
That's a hard one.
So
it doesn't have to.
Yeah, one of my 6th graders the other day, or 5th graders, he was like, we were doing Psalms and how to get wisdom, and his question is, how come I don't hear from God?
Right. And you can, and as two guys with theology-ish degrees, we can answer that question.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the discipleship piece comes when you start really pondering that throughout your week of like, how did I hear God then?
How do I hear God?
Yeah. Like
and
what?
Have I heard God?
What?
And how do I know if I've heard God? And what does it look like when I hear God?
Why is that weird conversation happening? And all I want to do is get out of it. And yet it's still still happening? Like, why?
And what would you tell?
Is that me not listening to God? Like, you know, like all those things.
And then what would you say to somebody who's just starting to have those questions for the first time? I mean, not in the like, tell me right now, Jim, but like that's the same question of like, what is it? What's proper or safe? What is beneficial to say to the, because like, I mean, you and I can have a different conversation about hearing from God because we've both walked through so many things and we have a relationship, you know. But if somebody's just like, well, how come I'm not? Like, there are, I think, both negative and positive things to say in that, and there's like just thinking through how do you best nurture the next question. How do you best nurture? The answer is a question, you know. What question do you ask? How do you help without frustrating people? You know, a fifth grader,
right? Because
like, how do you help? So all of that is discipling me because I'm like, what do I even do?
Yeah, right. And I think, and that's the difference between pondering the question in ideal land of like, well, the answer is going to be the same. How do I hear from God?
Yeah.
Well, I put on my kingdom ears and my kingdom eyes, and I use this. I mean, and I pay attention to what's consistently told to me through people that I'm running into, that I'm having that conversation with, through my thoughts as I read the Bible, through prayer as I sit and listen, and I connect that all in my head, and somehow that becomes
hearing from God.
And that doesn't change. Right. That's the answer.
Right.
But the next question is like, well, how does that work?
Right.
And I don't know.
Yeah. How do I help you take the next step into discovering that? Because really the question you're asking, well, the question you may be asking is like, how come I don't hear a audible voice from God? And it's like, well, most people don't. Like welcome to the majority of people in history. There are some people who have, and they are special, and they're unique, and they're limited. And so, so how do I change you? How do I help you see that you may not? Like, you may. Like, I can't say for sure that God won't audibly speak to you. He hasn't audibly spoke to me in a way of like where I heard like actual God's voice. But I mean, has he spoke to me? Yes. So how do I help you find that next step? And like, just to think through all of that just helps me then think back, how do I hear? And that is a discipleship process that if you're not involved in that, like, I do think you're missing out on a lot. And that's and I say that as from somebody who has missed out a lot. Right. Or
and the advantage of pulling somebody in on top of that is you get a whole new, things that you don't know. Right. You know, like
perspective,
because they have a different perspective, they're seeing things.
Yeah.
And so they can say things like, well, have you thought?
Yeah, what about this?
Have you
yeah.
You keep saying this word.
Right.
Have you noticed you keep saying, and you're like, no, actually I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Why is that so important?
Yeah.
Or why is it not important to you? Or all those questions that help you.
Which if you
Yeah.
So if you're not discipled, you don't really have that.
Right.
You're really only
wrestling in your own mind.
Yeah. And validating what you already know.
Right. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna call a stop.
Oh, I told you I'm wired, man. I
know, but we haven't done any would you rather, so I do want to end.
Would you rather?
I've got some Halloween would you rathers.
Okay, I'm ready.
And we're gonna rapid fire through these, because we have to have some would you rathers on here. Would you rather be a werewolf or be a vampire?
No, that's so. Vampire. Because Blade is cool.
Okay. All right.
Name a cool werewolf. There are none.
Teen Wolf. The Beast. Wolverine. Does he count? I don't know.
I mean, whatever.
Would you rather go to a costume party or go trick or treating?
Oh. currently as a 45-year-old man, costume
yes, sir.
party.
Yes, sir. Man, free candy. I don't know.
You just said you don't really like half of the candy that they're going to hand you.
But apparently, I'm big enough I can just bully the other kids and take the candy I want.
That's only with your brother. It doesn't work with other kids. I mean, I guess it might. That neighborhood just right down the block. I was told when we took city kids,
they gave out full candy bars.
Full candy bars. That's the neighborhood over right down your block. So if you want full candy bars,
this is not even proper English, but here you go. Would you rather pumpkin pie or apple pie?
Pumpkin pie.
Ooh.
Easy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be easy. Because you like apple pie.
I do like apple pie.
With a slice of cheese on top.
I mean, sure. Whatever.
Okay. Would you rather...
Good old Wisconsin Lutheran traditions. Not where I was raised, but I know of it.
Would you rather be a full-time pumpkin carver or be a full-time haunted house scarer?
Pumpkin carver.
I don't like haunted houses, but I might enjoy scaring people. I don't know.
It's like an escape room without any problems. You'd love it.
Yeah, I probably would. I'd probably like scaring people.
Because you wouldn't be on the scared side.
This really hits the childhood that we were talking about.
Okay, here we go.
Would you rather have an infinite supply of Jolly Ranchers or have an infinite supply of Starburst? And the reason why this is important.
That's terrible.
It's important is because you mentioned earlier
those are
that
both
you hated candy that had separate wrappers.
Individually wrapped.
These are individually wrapped candies. And so which one do you want to have an infinite supply?
What makes it easier though is I'm a chewer, so Jolly Ranchers are too hard. I will chew a Jolly Rancher the moment I put it in my mouth, and it will break my teeth eventually. I understand, but I can't help it. So it's got to be Starbursts.
Yeah, I mean Starburst is a higher quality candy than Jolly Ranchers. It just is. Like the Jolly Rancher is fine for what it is. It's a hard candy, not my favorite. Starburst is just a higher quality. That's the only way to.
I have never not chewed a hard candy.
Oh,
never.
No, it's like was the old commercial with like how many licks it takes to get to the middle of a Tootsie Roll Pop because they're just like 1, 2, cronk, and then
I am the owl.
Yeah,
because that's what I do.
This is, again, not good English. Would you rather Halloween lasted 1 week or Halloween lasted 1 month?
A week or a month? I do not care. That one I don't care at all.
I'm not sure, like, more than 1 day.
What does that mean?
Like, Halloween already kind of lasts. Now. So here's the thing, okay? There are people who celebrate Halloween hard around here, and like they have their whole yards just decked out.
Yeah, we have Lakenites that have Halloween junk every day.
I'm just not that into it.
We have a person in our community that calls herself Mrs. Halloween.
So they may want a month. They might actually like a month. 1 day is fine for me.
They do it all year round. I don't just.
How about, would you rather spend the night in an abandoned prison or spend the night in an abandoned hospital?
Is all the stuff there?
Probably not.
Oh, it's just a building?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Prison, because you can't take the jail cells out. That would be a fun thing.
Would you rather be the only one without a costume or be the only one in a costume?
Ooh. Going to my party. Show up.
You're in your Raggedy Andy costume.
I mean, which one would I prefer or which one would be more entertaining? Me in a costume would be the only entertaining move. Because then it would just be like I didn't understand. But if you show up without a costume, you can play that like I didn't even know it was a costume party.
Or you could even be like, I am in costume, you don't get it?
Right.
Like,
yeah, you can try and play it off of. I did that. I remember. There's another Halloween memory.
Mm.
I think early when we were married, we did something at church, and with the kids, and I just grabbed a tool belt.
I'm a construction worker.
Yeah, I mean, I just wore what I was
I'm
wearing
a day.
that day.
I'm a day laborer.
I mean, I came home from working on a roof to going to be
How much
a
fun is
construction
that?
guy.
How much fun is that? Just yeah. What creativity?
Yeah.
Um,
On the flip side, another year I put on my wife's dress.
Well, you're gonna have some people who may.
And I walked around church. That was at our church. I walked around an Awana program in my wife's dress.
Would you rather? This is not Halloween. I don't even know what this is, but okay, let's go with it. Would you rather have Velociraptor arms or have chicken feet?
Chicken feet. I like grabbing things too much.
You just got to buy a grabber. Yeah.
They prove not worth it to me. I break every one that I've ever touched. I told somebody that story.
Yeah.
They were holding a grabber.
Yeah, and
I
then
said, you do not want to hand that to
now
me
let me have that.
because I will break it. And I told them the story of breaking Aaron's
Adam's
grabber.
within 2 minutes of him opening it out of the
He
package.
handed it to me. You said you don't want to go hand him that. He will break it. I instantly walked around the corner and broke it. It was no time at all. I told him that story, and he still handed me the hand gripper, and I broke it.
What you need is to get with your Velociraptor arms. Velociraptor? I don't know. Your Velociraptor arms. Just get those grabbers that are dinosaur mouths, and like run around with those.
I do have one on my desk still. That one I haven't broken yet.
I think that's it. I think
that's the end.
I think chicken feet.
Chicken feet is gonna wrap us up, huh? Imagine running around with chicken feet.
Yeah.
My daughter tells me that they do not feel it, so like when they're cold, so they literally can freeze their feet right off of their body.
That seems like a poor choice.
I mean, it also seems like
never have cold toes.
You know what I also found out on Monday?
Uh-oh.
A friend told me who had peacocks as a kid.
Yeah.
Their family had peacocks in on their farm or whatever.
Yes.
They roost in the trees.
Okay.
And they like roosting in the trees so much that on cold weather, their feet can literally freeze to the branches. And so on cold nights, they would have to go out and throw snowballs or whatever at them to get them into the barn so that they wouldn't freeze
to the trees.
to the tree, which is crazy to me.
I guess if you don't feel cold in your feet, then you don't know any better. And so, although it would feel weird, I don't know, walking around without feeling your feet, like, I mean, it's terrible. Like when you like set in the wrong way and like you cut off the blood.
What's really weird is
you're dragging your foot behind you.
Yeah, Rebecca has a rooster that limps. So what are you even doing? If you can't feel him, how are you limping? I don't understand what's happening right there.
The other chickens are like, dude, you're giving it away. Stop limping.
You can feel it. You're showing them you can feel.
Stop it. All right. Well, we're gonna end it on the rooster who can feel.
Be the rooster who can feel. Embrace the limp. There's a lot of sermons in there.
Yep.
Go ahead and write that down.
Yeah. The rooster who could feel. The rooster who could feel his feet. Oh, feet don't fail me now. Well, Jim, thanks again and for another
All right.
October.
If you made it this far in this podcast,
Thank you.
You should really say hey
Yeah.
to us sometime
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
who knows?
thank you.
Tell us chicken feet, and
Chicken feet.
we will definitely appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and hey, maybe we'll have another. Maybe we'll have a Thanksgiving themed podcast next month. Ooh, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, let's prepare.
Just like we did for this one. So thank you guys, and hope you have a great time, and we'll see you next time.